Hello, Pat. It's Bubba.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You sound really enthused today.
He's at the game.
What's going on?
How hungover and stuffed are you from the game?
Neither.
You know, you and I.
Make sure he knows we're on the air now too.
Oh yeah. By the way, we're on the air. I think maybe the talk that we were talking about may have freaked you out because we were talking about some other subject that obviously I wouldn't speak to you about and put you in that type of situation. But I think that might have freaked you out, and is why you hung up. Maybe.
No, I didn't hang up. I think you guys did to me because I was still listening, but I just wasn't through.
Oh, hey, did you know you and I share the same birthday, April 23rd?
No, I did not know that.
Did you know any other famous? I don't know if I'm famous or you're famous, but do you know of famous people that were born on April 23rd?
I do not.
I can give you one that you can really use. William Shakespeare.
Oh, wow.
And John Cena. That's all you need, bud.
That's all I need. That's two good ones.
That's quite the spectrum.
It is quite the Bubba Clem, Pat Maroon, William Shakespeare, and John Cena. Do you need any other 4 men in your life? I don't think you do, to be honest with you.
No, I think that's a perfect dinner situation.
So Pat, what's up with this? What's up with this Jack? And I don't want to incessively give you, talk to you about it because everybody's been talking about it. But do you want to go with this guy? Like, if you saw Jack Edwards, would you tell him let's drop the gloves and go? Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a unique situation when, like you said, I've been talking about it for a while, but like I've told everyone else, I was frustrated in the beginning. I didn't want to react on something that I didn't want to react on, and we came up with a plan. But it's obviously pretty frustrating when someone just pretty much talks bad about you for 2 minutes, a minute and 15 straight.
Well, not only that, but you weren't even on the ice. It wasn't like Pat Maroon just high sticked. What's that big ogre looking number 63 that everybody thinks is so good?
Oh, what's his name? Cedino. He's retired now. He retired this year. Cedino.
Whoever. It wasn't like it wasn't like Pat Maroon just did something to cause the Boston announcers to be mad. They just out of nowhere started screwing with you.
Yeah, I just didn't understand it. It was unnecessary, like I said, and I was more like, why did he do it? What was his reason behind it? Because it just didn't make sense. Obviously Jack is known to say some wild stuff on the air, but you know what? There's nothing I can do about it now. It's over. We turned a negative into a positive, and we found a way to make the right statement and do the right thing.
And you know what's most sad, though, is that you did turn, this into a pretty cool thing. Like you and a few of the guys on the team got together and as part of weight shaming and bullying and put together some money and you guys really did turn it around. But what's kind of and thank you for doing that. And it just shows, one, that the organization and you guys are just a class act.
They sure are.
You really are. You're you and your teammates are just really good dudes. But what it also shows is Jack's lack of participation. He could have piggybacked off of that, of your guys' initial good thing, and said, you know what, Pat, I was just joking with you, buddy. I say outlandish things, and I'm going to throw you a couple grand too, buddy. That would have completely, saved his ass, so to speak.
No, I agree. I think...
but he didn't do nothing. He didn't do a damn thing.
No, he didn't do anything, to be honest with you. He did write an email to the team, but not to me, and said he sent his number and his email. He's like, if Pat wants to reach out, here's my information, which that was kind of I would say, I don't know, you'd think he would just apologize. Hey, I shouldn't have said those things, but
publicly he could have come out and said, "Hey, listen, you know what? Sometimes the game gets away from you. It's play-by-play. It's live radio, and we're just coming up with content. And I kind of goofed on Pat a little bit. Pat's a great player. He's been around the league for a zillion years. This guy came from Texarkana by all means. And this guy came from Texarkana. He's been all over the world. He's won 3 Stanley Cups, and I was just just making some fun. But Pat's a great guy, and I'll tell you what, Pat, I'll write you a $3,000 check for your little foundation there, buddy. And you know, sorry about that. And you know what? Everything would be super cool right now.
No, I agree. I just don't understand. I guess the whole thing behind it and why he just wanted to go on a big rant about it, and then
you know what? Like
you said, he could have piggybacked off it.
And you know what, Pat, it is as a broadcaster, because this is in my wheelhouse. It's when a guy doesn't have any content or anything to say because he's not talented enough to call the game for what's happening on the ice. Again, you weren't even on the ice. So this is just lack of preparation. He's a great announcer, but he wasn't prepared for the night. I mean, I think Stammer was on the ice. There was a lot of things he could have talked about as to the people that were on the ice playing the game that he was commentating. Not to pick on a guy that's on the bench. It just shows his lack of preparation is all it really does.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the things where, two is just like, again, I wasn't on the ice. Three, I wasn't trying to get Jack fired. I was just trying to, make sure that didn't go unnoticed, because I know he says some stuff a lot. But again, Jack's a good announcer. I wasn't trying to do anything to fire him. I just wanted to try to do something to impact and, just let him know, like, hey, it's not okay, because I feel like as athletes, if we did that or we were recorded by someone and we were, doing something or saying something that went publicly, I feel like we would get, the hard treatment,
As a player, if you were to make a comment on, a female announcer, you know how they have sometimes the females there that will stop you guys in the middle of the tunnel before you go in, and you're like completely out of breath and you're getting beat down, you're 2-0, and they want to ask you the most dumbest questions in the world, and you have to have your composure. And if you would then say, man, that girl looked like she was a little thick in the hips, you'd be fired. You'd be fired.
Oh, 100%.
Pat, when you told me how you found out at the end of the game, that was a really good story.
What's that? I didn't hear you cut out.
When you first found out about this guy's comments, you were telling me how you found out at the end of the game, how it kind of that was a great story. If you could maybe repeat that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were sitting there, our trainer knew from the beginning, our players knew, but no one said anything during the game to me, obviously, because I probably would have lost my mind. But I was sitting there, I got undressed, I looked at my phone, nothing was on my phone at the time, and we were getting changed. I hopped in the shower, and Stammer came by. I was like, hey, did you see this? And I was like, see what? I'm like, oh, geez. Did I do something? I'm like trying to figure out, did I do something? He's like, no, did you see this video? It's pretty bad. I was just like, no, I didn't see it. And Stammer's like, here, take a listen. I listened to it the first time, and I'm like, hold on, I got to do that again. So I listened to it again, and I was just like, I can't believe what I just heard. This is insane.
Now, at that point, do you, Pat, you're obviously a veteran, very seasoned veteran, but do you turn to Stammer, the cap, do you ask for his advice, or do you just do what you're going to do?
No, I asked for his advice.
Right.
Obviously, I was steaming. I was steaming for about a good 30 minutes.
And and when you asked the 91, what did the 91 say? Let's go kick his ass?
Yeah.
Let's go. Hey, let's go find. Hey, yeah, hater. Let's go find him and slice his tires. Hey.
Exactly. So everyone had my back, which was great. Like everyone was kind of like, yeah, that's pretty messed up. What he said, just uncalled for, unnecessary. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where my teammates had my back. It was great.
How about Coop? What'd Coop say?
Yeah, Coop had my back. I mean, pretty much what I'm saying, they're saying it too to me. Like,
right.
Yeah, that's very uncalled for. Like, that was unacceptable. And then we just tried to come up with a plan, like Stammer, and I asked him, I was like, I'm sending a tweet out. He's like, don't send a tweet out.
Yeah, don't send a tweet out. Don't.
Don't tweet.
Don't tweet.
Just relax and take a deep breath. We'll figure this out. And
call Francesca up. She'll calm you down.
Exactly.
She'll have some of those fried raviolis waiting for you, and a nice negligee, and you'll be fine. Just get your ass home.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, the Bruins are completely playing, and I'm not trying to get you in a trick bag here, but the Bruins, this bubble's gonna burst. I mean, I know they're on fire right now, but I don't. You want to start peaking like this towards the playoff? I think they're peaking way too soon. I think their bubble's gonna burst. I don't think they're as good as a team as their record indicates right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously some teams have good starts. They're obviously a good team. I think they're a good team. I think they have all the pieces. But, again, some people peak at the right time, and they're peaking, in the beginning of the year right now. And obviously we always have to judge our teams, in February and January and March down the stretch when you're playing meaningful games, and you kind of see where your team's at. So, it's already December.
I know it's already December. Can you the season's almost half over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I just feel like the later in the months, like I said, January, February, March, when you're playing meaningful games down the stretch, you kind of figure out where your team's at,
Pat Maroon on the phone from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Pat, you guys are some old seasoned veterans. I mean, Cooch, Stamo, Pat, Vazzy, you, Point. You guys know when you got to turn. I mean, not that you don't play hard every night, but like you said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I think for December standards, we're about as healthy as we've been in a while. Usually, remember the one year we had Cooch out for clear up, and then last year I think Point was nicked up. I don't think we're real nicked up right now, are we?
No, we're healthy right now, knock on wood. Yeah, Sorelli just came back. Bogosian just came back. So, we got our guys back. We got everyone in the lineup. So this will be a good test for us to see where we're at in our lineup and, with everyone healthy and everyone playing. So this is good.
So when does the USA play again in the World Cup, guys? When do they play?
They're done.
They're done.
They lost.
They're done.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask a question. If the Lightning were playing and the USA was playing, who would Phil, your dad, watch?
Probably the U.S. soccer team.
By the way, his dad was a Division I soccer player. I don't know if anybody knew that or not. Was Phil always pushing you to be soccer? Always?
No one was pushing me to play soccer. It was good. It was my dad just let the kids play. I was fortunate enough to have older siblings, sister, and my two older brothers. So I got to watch my two older brothers play hockey and all the sports. So he just let us kind of freelance and do our thing.
How tough was Justin? Did Justin used to beat your ass?
No one did.
That's my pet.
Come on, out of two older brothers, one of them had to catch you every once in a while. Come on, Pat, truth and disclosure, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, but my dad, if we were really fighting, he would go downstairs and grab the boxing gloves and we would put them on, and then he's like, all right, hit each other, and then it would end bad. But my dad's like, this is what you get. You guys want to fight? Here you go. So, yeah, I mean, my two older brothers would, obviously, they'd get a nice little whacking on me, but I feel like they didn't really beat me up,
Can they still get on the ice? Could your two older brothers still get on the ice and hang a little bit?
Yeah, they can. They can still play the game. They play in men's league. That's about it. But they were really good hockey players. Two very good, solid players.
What if they're trying to guard? What if they're trying to guard the 21? Would the 21 just dust them?
What's that?
If they were trying to guard Point, the 21.
Oh yeah. I mean, their Point's dusting them up. So
it's so fun to watch the game and watch you guys when you're setting up like a power play and how you bring that puck around and then you kind of feed it to the guy that's going 100 mile an hour and it's always him. And God, he's going fast. Oh my God, he's got another gear sometimes.
Yeah, he's an electric player. I mean, I can't believe how fast he really is. It's unbelievable to watch. It's fun to watch, so it's nice to have him on our side.
Pat Maroon, and it's nice to have him healthy as well. Obviously, Pat, you've been in the league a long time. What's when you went to the Texarkana Bandits? Like, was that like the way that when you watch movies and the guys are riding on school buses and they get like $50 a night? Is that like how those little leagues go before you hit the big leagues?
Yeah, I mean, there's small leagues, obviously, with a lot of teams, but Texarkana was fun. It was obviously different and unique. We played at a fairgrounds. We obviously had to take sleeper buses everywhere. But yeah, I mean, it's out of the movies. I mean, what you see is what you get. We travel on buses. We're leaving at 8:00 at night on a Thursday to get there for a Friday game. Stuff like that. So
you got to take care. Now, do you on that level? Do you got to take care of your own stick, and you got to do all that kind of stuff because you don't have an equipment manager necessarily that's sharpening up your skates, or do you at least have that?
We do have that, and sometimes it's like the rink guy, like the rink manager that's there. Or I'm sure it's changed now over time. I'm sure they all have an equipment manager. They all have everyone on staff now. I think it's kind of mandatory, but back then when I played, no. We ended up getting one my second year when we moved to St. Louis, equipment manager. So that was nice. But we did get free sticks and all that stuff. The only thing we didn't get was, I think, skates.
You had to buy your own skates.
Yeah, I think so.
How much do skates cost? Like the skates that you wear.
The good ones.
The good, well, yeah. Well, I don't think he has a pair of crappy ones.
Well, I'm saying, how much you like the?
I don't think Pat says, "Man, we're playing the Bruins tonight. I'm going to wear the crappy skates." I mean, I think all of Pat's skates are pretty good. But Pat, what's a set of skates like you wear? How much they cost?
I think $1,200
for that much. For real?
Yeah, like $900.
Do they make different skates for different positions?
Yeah. No. They're all the same skates. They're all just different prices, and the product that they put out and what's different, what's not. So obviously, the higher the price the skate is, the better the quality.
How many sets? How many sets do you have? Like, how many sets will you go through in a season?
That depends. Maybe 4.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and
that's
obviously
not that many, really.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, 1,200 is. I mean, for the average guy. But this guy's big time. Now, Pat, how about all the things you hear about the guys being real superstitious about their stick and how they'll like bend it a certain way and they have to tape it a certain way and nobody else can touch it? Do you do all your own stick configurations? Do all that, like, does Stamkos let anybody touch his stick, or does he manipulate his stick? And I'm talking about hockey sticks.
Yeah, so there's a lot of superstitious people on our team. Yeah, I mean, some people are different. Some people don't like them, being like anything being touched around their stall, so stuff like that. But it's just too much to get into, to be honest with you, because everyone has so many goddamn routines. It's just we'd be here all day.
Hockey players are so superstitious. I mean, okay, without going through all of them, do you have any? Like, just like 2 or 3 or 4 of your little hang-ups?
I call it a routine.
Okay.
It's just the same thing. Treatment, stretching, squatting, stuff like that. Just little things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's some times where, if we're in the playoffs and you do something that game, and then you probably want to do it again, right? Because you feel like it's going to help you win, but it's probably not going to help you win. But yeah, it's stuff like that. I think the longer the season goes on, the farther you go in the playoffs too. I think there's more that adds value, and how many you add more, I guess, routines or superstitions to your I guess, to your daily routine,
to your repertoire, if you will.
Yeah, your repertoire. There you go.
Pat Maroon on the phone. Only two more questions. One, Pat, if I was to get a hold of Jack Evans with you on the phone, not now, no, I'm not going to call him, but if I was to reach out to him, may I tell him, or could I tell him, hey, Jack, if you want to write a check to the foundation and to the charity that Pat started for you, and bullying and weight shaming, Pat will forgive you if you will openly apologize to him and make a check donation. Pat will forgive you.
Sounds like a plan.
If he's man enough to do that.
Absolutely.
And then secondly, when you guys are out of town, as superstitious as you are, do you guys have like the same restaurants that you go to or the same bars that you go to or all that kind of stuff?
Like, what do you mean?
Like when you guys are playing Philly and you guys got to spend the night. I mean, is there a certain restaurant that you guys like to go to or a certain bar or something like that?
Yeah, so I mean, we just pick. So when we go into cities, like the day before, the day before, we usually just find something, or we know a restaurant in the city that we love, and we just go to the restaurant.
Almost by habit. Okay, when we go to Chicago, we go to this joint. When we go to Anaheim, we go to this joint. When we go to Philly, we go to this joint.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it depends what guys want that night, right? So it all depends if they want sushi, if they want Italian, if they want steak. Just different kind of things, but obviously we all have our favorite restaurants. It's different cities, certain cities that we usually go to pretty much every time. But, I mean, when you're in like a city like New York, you want to try everything, right? So you kind of bounce around where you hear new places in the city, you go try to, try them out. So
out of all the road places, out of all the away, cities that you go to, your favorite and your least favorite. That's my last question.
Favorite.
Probably St. Louis.
No, I would say Nashville is probably up there for me.
Right.
New York City is up there for me, but the Canadian cities are cool. Least favorite. Oh man, that's a tough one.
Probably Carolina.
I feel like if we had an opportunity to like explore, because I feel like we go in and out of Carolina,
right?
It would be a cool city.
Columbus.
Yeah, I mean Columbus isn't that bad.
Detroit.
It's got to be the worst.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what city that like we usually just do nothing, or I just sit in my room.
Buffalo too. Buffalo's not much.
What's your
of a-
favorite
Pittsburgh
skybox
sucks.
to go to during a Bucks game?
Buffalo. Buffalo's got to be the city you just stay in and say,
The
I'm going
Broncos.
Yes, exactly.
Elders. There you go.
Hey.
I don't know. I mean, it all depends what you want. Like, if you're going to city to, like, you have a couple days in between, like, the day in the city, like, obviously Columbus or Detroit are not the city. But we stayed in Detroit last year in, like, the suburbs. It was actually really nice. I really enjoyed it. There's cool restaurants all around. You can walk everywhere.
Was it Royal Oak?
So it wasn't Royal Oak, but I know it was something around there.
Birmingham, probably.
Where do we do that fight Dan out there?
Yeah, Birmingham. It's a nice downtown
Birmingham,
area.
yeah.
Yep.
Pat Maroon on the phone.
So I mean, I just feel like if you know where to go and know where to stay, I feel like every city's probably got something, fun and good.
And it probably has a lot to do with how well you guys did that night. If you guys killed it, it puts you in a whole different mindset where even a crappy restaurant's cool and you guys got your ass kicked. Well, even the best restaurant sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are on fire, man. 8-2 in the last 10. playing Detroit tonight at 7. They're, I think they're comparable. I think they're 12-7.
12-7, yeah.
But I mean, Iserman's got them. Iserman, who they can say, was a major architect on our current Lightning. He's slowly turning that team around. Are you a big Iserman fan?
Just from watching him play, yeah, he was a great player. I've never had him as a GM. But as a player, he was super fun to watch, especially in those old Detroit days. And he kind of broke my heart when he scored that goal in '95 against the Blues.
Were you sitting on Phil's lap for that one?
No, I was not.
I was not. Phil had season tickets, though, didn't he?
He did have season tickets, yeah.
And you had to sit on his lap. Did you ever get to see Gretzky play for the 1 year that he played for the Blues?
Yes, his half a year.
Yeah.
That was the year they lost.
Yeah, it was amazing. A lot of people don't know that Wayne Gretzky played a half a year for the St. Louis Blues. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
No.
Is he by far, Pat? Not by far, but is he the greatest of all time?
Yeah, as of right now, until someone passes him, right?
I mean, is there anybody even in the can? I mean, can anybody even come close to what he did?
Connor McDavid.
Yeah. So anyway,
I think so. I mean, Ovechkin's close to breaking his goal record. So
what if
you never know.
What if Ovechkin was sitting right beside you on a face-off and said, "You want to go? 14, you want to go?"
Ding,
yeah,
ding.
I would go home. Just to say I did it.
Just to say that you did it, right?
He'd kick his ass.
Oh, you kick Ovechkin's ass. There's not a lot of guys that there's probably not a lot of guys that you wouldn't go based on that you don't think that you'd win.
Yeah. For sure, 100%.
So, listen, I know you're getting out of your car and you're going somewhere,
He's
but
got a game tonight.
yeah,
I gotta go into the rink here. So
anyway, hey, good luck to you, Pat, and more importantly, thanks for coming on the show and fellow April 23rd, birthday
absolutely.
guy, former Taurus.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you so much, Pat. I look forward to talking to you again sometime if we can.
yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
Thanks, Pat.
for having me.
Bye bye.
See you guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Hockey players are the best.